Thanks to my new Create mod oil field, I have unlimited supplies of crude oil, but no way of using it. So I need an oil refinery. I could build one, maybe two distillation towers and call it good, but that doesn't really look like the pictures of real life refineries that I've seen. And in this series, I've tried to base things off of their real counterparts regardless of practicality. That means I need to turn this into Minecraft. Today, I'm going to design the footprint for a massive oil refinery and set up an automatic way of making concrete in order to supply the foundation. Let's get started. Now that it's been a little while, I've had a chance to look at your suggestions for the name of this train, which I could not do for various reasons last time, but now we can go ahead and do it. I have to do it from the station, don't I? So, I don't always choose names that are the most upvoted, but in this case, it's a pretty clear winner with the upvotes. We're going to name it the Freedom Express. However, there is also a bunch of other cool ones, some runners-up that I'll put on screen. German-specific ones, actually, because it's based off a German locomotive. And now we're going to take this freedom. It's loaded with an awful lot of freedom. There's a lot of freedom in here. We're going to take it back home and start using this freedom for amazing purposes, undeniably. Just think of how much democracy we can make out of this freedom. I'm going to leave the locomotive right here for now. I need to do some stuff. We have to plan out an entire oil refinery. We have a big empty space. It's got some hills. It's got probably a couple flowers or something. Maybe like a couple really rare species of bug that only lives here. And we need an oil refinery. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to get rid of this roundabout. And I'm going to move it. It's the worst roundabout that's ever existed, mainly because of all the weird additions I've had to do to it. So I'm going to move it so that it is directly in line with this up here. And we're still going to have, obviously, these things coming out of it, but it's going to go from right here to right here. All of this on this side is getting flattened. Maybe this is getting flattened as well. Those poor bugs, it's all over for them. Oh, look who it is. Look who decided to show up. It's the building police. Just like wandering traders, they show up when you change too many blocks, from what I understand. Oh, I can buy a spider egg. That's fun. It's going to be Halloween soon. Maybe I need this for the Halloween special. Thanks, bro. This has actually been so annoying making this, to the extent that I'm going to make it into a schematic so that I never again have to figure out a roundabout by scratch. And this is about the tightest roundabout you can make while still having space for diagonals to come off of like here, not just the parts of the Minecraft grid, but also the diagonals. And it is much too small. You would never see this in real life with these size trains, but this is Factorio train design, not real life train design in this case. This is exactly what I would have in Factorio. I realize in the long run that keeping the tunnel bore here may not be the greatest idea. I'm likely going to end up removing it and sending it to the rail yard and clearing out most of those existing rails. You know, things are getting grim when you have to pull out the Photoshop file and start scribbling on it to make plans. I haven't done this in a long time, actually. And no, the tracing the paths in the other videos doesn't count. This is where the fun begins, or ends. I think I've got a plan here. This is the rail that I started. It's all the way over here. It's going to go through here. We're not going to be dealing with this. Just need to know where it's going to be. It's going to go around here, have a bridge, and it's going to come down here in two different lines. And that's where we're going to pick up any fluids that we want, like diesel, gasoline, pick up any items, deliver items if we need to. And then, of course, these two rails, this part goes away. These two rails go into a diagonal rail that goes around here, hugs the lake, and connects back to this track before the roundabout. Then, of course, we've got the single track that's going to be for the train. So it's going to come around here and connect back down and go out that way. Then, of course, it's probably kind of obvious what the magenta is. It's just holding tanks for stuff. Dark green is going to be, well, it's kind of a secret, but it's related to the parking lot. And then the orange is not what we're going to be dealing with today, because the orange is, I'm going to try to put a power plant there. Then the yellow is just general oil refinery area, which is going to be a mix of functional distillation towers and then decorative distillation towers and everything else that's decorative, kind of like what we did with the steel plant. So that's the plan. Now is the fun part. where we get to go over to survival and see if it actually ends up lining up the way I'm hoping. I think the big issue is that there's a big hill here. This whole thing is hilly. Yeah, and we're not building an oil refinery on a hill. That's not gonna happen. So all I can really do is start by taking off the tops of these hills. Let's not waste more time with words. Let's grab a lot of backpacks, a lot of XP for fixing my shovel. Maybe I'll even go get another red pickaxe. And let's start mining. It's been flattened a lot. Within range of my digging machine, my track lane machine. Lay's itself, the original one, not the small one, not the wherever it is. Pringles back there. This one I can use to take out all of the remaining stuff here that is the wrong elevation. I'm gonna just build rails as I go, and then I'll take them up later, and that'll allow me to clear this out super fast. Well, it's flat now, so that's good, but now I need to get the tunnel bore out of here. It needs to go somewhere else. It was just a very temporary spot, but I needed somewhere to put it off of the rail out of the way, and this was where it was. Yeah, I made an unloading station here, but it's kind of bad. I can make a much nicer one somewhere else. So we're going to move the tunnel bore over to the rail yard, where it'll have to live for a while. I hate that it unnames trains when you deform them. Now I know it was Boris, I just don't know how we spelled it. Oh well. Not sure why it freaked out the CPU so much there for a little bit, but we're good now. Hey, it really can fit in one lane, who knew? And so the cool thing is I can get rid of these tracks now. I can reroute them over to here. All of this actually ends up going away in my new design. This goes down here, and then we're gonna have the two tracks that come in from that side, but there's some stuff I have to figure out first before I can just do that. Realized the train station for this was much farther up than I had initially thought, so that's okay. I can go over here now and connect this. Don't need that anymore. That's how I know I'm actually playing this like Factorios, having to go back and multiple times tear down old things and rebuild them in different ways, hopefully better. Usually better. I like to think that they are better. Everyone agrees, in fact. Now, if I give the schedule back to this train, it should be able to re-navigate and go back. It's been sitting here for a very long time. And it's off. Immediately going to full speed, not wasting any time. Well, have a good train ride. Now I have to figure out what to do. Yep, I really did flatten the entire area. Some places are flatter than others. That place is down there. It's about 3 blocks below the rest of it. And I don't mind because all of this is highly flat. And that that sounds weird. And so this is where a lot of the big storage tanks are going to go. There's not going to be a lot of fancy stuff that goes in this spot. And not to mention the train tracks, which is the thing I want to do now. And it's going to be the last thing that we do before going to the creative world to design the entire thing in creative, basically, because there's no way I'm doing this in survival. Not gonna happen. So the important thing, well, one important thing is to take the train and drive the train over to, well, that way, and then figure out how much farther I need to make the track, and then I have to make the track curve around and then build the other two. So the train has quite a bit more that it has to go before it even leaves the roundabout and the curve. Alright, how's that? We're just barely off the curve, and the last tanker car is all the way back there. Yikes. And now this one connects over to here, so that the train can get back to where it needs to go. Perfect. So that's everything I'm going to do now in survival. Let's go over to creative world and start filling this up. It may seem like a massive area, and I'm not saying we're going to fill everything today, but I think I'll be surprised at how quickly it fills up. Now we can see that this looks much more similar to the Photoshop file. I used the same colors, by the way, and then I added some for other things. The orange area is a future power plant, which we're not going to be getting to anytime soon. This is another electrical area. It's pretty obvious what the magenta wool is. That is where storage silos are going to be functional and decorative. And then pink wool is where it's storage silos or ground, but the ground is going to be kind of artificial dirt, not just like natural Minecraft grass. Where there is a purple outline, a purple border, that's where the ground is going to be some version of concrete and road, as opposed to natural grass. And I should mention, the ground in these areas is going to be concrete plus whatever I choose for the road as well. There it is, all the foundation. And so we are ready to go to survival. Well, kind of. Yeah, I have schematics. I made 3 schematics of this. It's not all one giant schematic. And I'm gonna have to get a lot of resources, because if you look at this, a lot of it is concrete. The bad kind of concrete, not the vanilla type. So that's going to be the big challenge of doing this. And then there's lots of things like dirt and whatnot. It's not really a huge deal. Also have a schematic of the wool, so I can bring that with me if we want to put that back down. We probably will. We're going to go over to the survival world now, figure out just how much of this I need, taking into account frame blocks for the first time. Very exciting. And let's go make some concrete. Glad I did it the way that I did, because look at this comparison. Look at how much different it is compared to what we were just looking at. It's the same spot, just missing everything. Oh, there's a piece of dirt here. I wonder if that lines up with this piece of dirt somehow. I didn't even, if that's true, I didn't even mean to do that. But does it look like it's lined up now? Yep, it's lined up in the right spot. So schematic number 1 of 3. Here we go. This is where we find out how bad it's gonna be. 5 pages. Okay. 1100 concrete exactly. That's a lot. 1300 light gray concrete. Oh, nice. And then 43 stacks of white concrete. You might say that it is over. And that's 1 of 3 schematics. And so what we're going to do, since this is such a large area and a crazy number of blocks that it has to place down, I am going to make 2 other schematic cannons, and we're going to run all 3 at the same time. In fact, there may be a setting for this. Gameplay schematic cannon between shots. Higher equals slower. Shots per gunpowder. Okay, I don't care about that. What if we doubled the speed of the schematic cannon? If it's weird or laggy or causes something, then I'll like revert that. But let's save it. We'll cut it in half. So it's going to be like tens of thousands of blocks total. That would literally take hours, and there's nothing to be gained from that because I'm just sitting here doing other stuff, not even on the game, and it just makes the time lapse take longer to render. So we're going to go make some more material checklists and more schematic cannons, and I'm going to look at what I need, and then we will build a concrete farm. Cool, that's the second one. Let's print up some materials. This one's going to be even more concrete, I bet. 2000 normal concrete. I'm going to need a lot of concrete. If I'd known I would need this much concrete, maybe I would have chosen a different block. But here we are. Let's get it done. Where are my drills? Here. Let's start with 2. I only store 1 stack of drills. So I know I could do chain drive, drill, hopper. I have 12 scaffolding. That's awesome. That's just great. More drills, and then we could do chain drive and then drill. If I don't do a lot of this, I'm gonna be here forever, and that would be bad because then I would never have it. There would be no more video uploads. So we're gonna do that, and then more chain drive, and we're gonna spin it very slowly so it barely takes any power. So I'm gonna need 2 pumps, and of course I have to make the actual way to create the liquid concrete, which I have to pump in here. Nice, it works. I was very much hoping that would work. How about let's keep going. Okay, guys, let's see if this monstrosity is gonna work. It's very temporary. As you all know, I only build temporary things. Nothing is ever permanent. So I've got some storage drawers. That is limestone. If I put limestone up here, it will get sent into the crusher, into the miller, and then it's gonna go into here as lime sand. Next up, where is my clay? That's not my clay. This is my clay. Clay balls go in here, and then that gets turned into cement. And there goes our cement, which goes into here. And now if I grab my sand and my gravel, we are getting some lag, by the way. Let us put our sand here and our gravel here. And now we turn into concrete mixture. And then it goes into here, and then it starts making concrete, and then it gets removed. And somewhere around here, it put concrete down. Yeah, look, there it goes. And I guess we're gonna see if it's fast enough to maintain it or not, and if I have to add another one of these in order to produce it. Hopefully not. It's nearly pushed the concrete to the end here because I've added 3 more of them. Yep, we have 4 now. 1 was definitely not enough, but these are all going now. It honestly barely uses any cement, which is interesting. It uses it very slowly. This stuff, yeah, it gets used faster, so I'll have to refill the sand and gravel occasionally. But this is about as good as I'm gonna get without making an actual concrete factory. By the way, we have about 460 concrete right now. That's not very much. Not at all. But obviously concrete is not everything. There's a lot of stuff here that is not, which I'm gonna have to make even so. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm going to collect these materials. Lots of it's simple stuff like gravel or dirt. Some of it's a little bit worse, like cyan, terracotta, okay, whatever. And then I'm gonna come back when I'm done with that. And hopefully there'll be, I don't know, 20,000 concrete or something, however much we need. That's not too big of an ask, right, guys? 3 cannons and a lot of materials. And amazingly, it's still not everything that we need. Oh yeah, and there's also just like, I don't know, 90,000 dirt sitting here waiting to be used. We don't actually need 90,000, but it kind of feels like it. There's a little bit that's missing. We have gotten a lot of concrete. It's not even in this, oops. Here, like we've got lots of concrete. That's all full of concrete. However, we don't have the concrete yet for the middle, and unfortunately the middle needs the most concrete. So if we look at this, I still require 4,000 white concrete, 1,200 light gray concrete, 3,000 gray concrete, and then 2,000 or 1,800 normal concrete. That's kind of bad. How much do we have in here right now? Oh good, we've got 2,000, so look, that covers the normal concrete, so that's good. But we still need a lot more, so I will be doing a combination of AFK and maybe building more of this tunnel, which is really boring because I never finished it. I will be back in a little while once this thing has made a lot more concrete.
12 seconds later.
Let me break free of my chest prison. Here we go. Do we have enough concrete? It's been a long time. 4,758. How much did I need to white the concrete? Ooh, only 4,200. So that's good. That was the last concrete that I need for the last section. So I think we finally have gotten everything. I just have to turn this stuff into white concrete now. Hang on. We've got 3 schematic cannons ready to go. I'm gonna have to sit here and babysit this, especially, I mean, it can only pull from 4 chests at once. I mean, maybe from the bottom, I don't know if it can. Maybe I should actually try that. Let me just try with like one of these things and see if it can grab the dirt from underneath it. Because if it could, that would be very nice, because just the volume of dirt that it needs is quite significant. Time to activate a time lapse and hope it doesn't break. Come on, replay mod. Please be nice to me this one time. I don't want to spend forever making it work. And here we go. Oof, it's already missing dirt. I'm hoping that made for a nice time lapse. I don't actually know yet. You guys already know. I will know soon enough because I will shortly be on my way to do battle with replay mod. Always my favorite part of making videos. But hey, look at this. Look at this very flat area. It's done. The foundation, the footprint of the oil refinery is done for the second time, this time on the survival world, which is the important time, obviously. This is quite the area I've created. And honestly, it was almost biting off more than I could chew this time, given how much concrete I needed. Concrete maker came in clutch, that was good. Next time, we're gonna have to make the actual oil refinery part. I'm hoping I can do that all in one video. I better be able to. I don't want to make it 3 videos. We got other stuff we have to do. I'm super excited for that. I really want to see this turn into an oil refinery. I can't wait to see what that looks like and actually try to build that. That's going to be really hard. But that'll have to wait until the next video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm Sbeev, and I'll see you guys next time.